Y'all, the internet just witnessed a moment that instantly turned an already messy celebrity scandal into full-blown humiliation. Because right when the drama around Stefon Diggs and Young Miami's alleged leaks started exploding online, another name suddenly entered the chaos. And that name was Nicki Minaj. Late last night, a clip began circulating across social media where Nicki appeared to throw some very sharp shade. At first, it sounded like a casual joke. But within seconds, fans realized something much deeper was happening. Because the comments she made seemed to be aimed directly at Cardi B's personal life. And the timing was brutal. Just as rumors about Stefon Diggs' alleged secret connections began spreading across blogs and gossip channels, Nicki allegedly jumped into the conversation with sarcastic remarks that instantly set the internet on fire. Viewers quickly started connecting the dots. First, the very public drama between Cardi B and Offset that had already played out in headlines for years. Then the rumors about Cardi standing by Diggs despite whispers about his alleged lifestyle and relationships. And now, the sudden speculation involving Young Miami. But according to fans reacting online, Nicki wasn't just making jokes. She was mocking the entire situation, questioning how someone could ignore so many warning signs while trying to maintain a perfect image in public. Within minutes, the clip went viral. Millions of views, thousands of comments, and one brutal question echoing across the internet. Was this just Nicki Minaj trolling her longtime rival? Or was she exposing something the public was only beginning to understand?
I don't fuck with clowns. But you know what? I gotta shout out New Orleans.
The internet had barely recovered from the latest wave of rumors when a new twist suddenly pushed the entire situation into another level of chaos. At first, the story was only about the alleged drama surrounding Stefon Diggs and whispers of a secret connection with Young Miami. Gossip pages were already debating the rumors, fans were digging through old interviews and social media posts, and speculation was spreading across timelines faster than anyone could control. But then something unexpected happened. A short clip began circulating online that instantly shifted the focus of the entire conversation. And the voice in that clip belonged to Nicki Minaj. Within minutes, the video started appearing on every gossip page imaginable. It wasn't a long statement. It wasn't even a direct mention of anyone's name. But the tone, the timing, and the words Nicki allegedly used were enough for fans to connect the dots almost immediately. In the clip, Nicki appeared to laugh while making a comment about celebrity relationships that look perfect in public but fall apart behind the scenes. For casual listeners, it might have sounded like a random observation. But for fans who were already watching the drama unfold around Cardi B and Stefon Diggs, the meaning seemed obvious. The internet exploded. Comment sections filled with people claiming that Nicki was clearly mocking Cardi B's current situation. Others insisted it was just a coincidence. But the more the clip spread, the more people began replaying it and analyzing every word. Because this wasn't just any celebrity making a sarcastic comment. This was Nicki Minaj, a superstar who has had one of the most famous rivalries in modern hip-hop with Cardi B. And suddenly, fans believed she had just turned Cardi's personal drama into public humiliation. Within hours, reaction channels started uploading breakdown videos. Headlines appeared across gossip blogs suggesting that Nicki had trolled Cardi at the worst possible moment. The timing made everything feel even more explosive. Because right as the alleged rumors about Stefon Diggs and Young Miami were circulating online, Nicki's comments appeared to add fuel to an already raging fire. People began revisiting Cardi B's relationship history, bringing up the years of very public ups and downs with Offset. Memes started appearing that compared past headlines to the current rumors, creating a narrative that Cardi had repeatedly found herself caught in relationship drama. For some viewers, the situation felt unfair. For others, it looked like the internet was watching another chapter of celebrity chaos unfold in real time. And then another detail started gaining attention. Several gossip commentators began claiming that Cardi B had allegedly been aware of rumors surrounding Stefon Diggs' lifestyle before the latest speculation exploded online. According to those claims, Cardi had reportedly ignored certain whispers in the beginning, believing they were just another wave of internet gossip. But once Young Miami's name became part of the conversation, the entire situation suddenly looked very different. Fans began asking the same question everywhere. If those rumors had been circulating for a while, why had no one spoken about them sooner? That question only intensified the drama surrounding Nicki's alleged comments. Because now some viewers believed Nicki wasn't just making jokes. They believed she was deliberately pointing out what she saw as a pattern in Cardi B's personal life. The idea that Cardi might have ignored warning signs became a major topic of debate online. Some fans defended her, saying the internet had no right to judge someone's private relationships. Others argued that Nicki's comments were simply highlighting a reality many people had already noticed. Either way, the damage was done. The clip continued spreading across platforms. Memes multiplied. Reaction videos stacked up by the hour. And the story that began as rumors about a possible secret connection between Stefon Diggs and Young Miami was suddenly transforming into something much bigger. Because now, the conversation wasn't only about the alleged affair. It was about humiliation, rivalry, and the brutal way the internet turns personal situations into global entertainment. And as the drama kept escalating, one thing became clear. This was no longer just gossip. It was turning into a full-blown celebrity scandal. As the clip kept spreading across the internet, the reaction became impossible to ignore. Within hours, millions of people had already watched the moment where Nicki Minaj appeared to throw subtle shade. At first, some fans tried to downplay it, saying the comment could have been about anyone. But the more the video circulated, the clearer the timing started to look. Because right when the internet was already discussing the alleged Stefon Diggs and Young Miami leak, Nicki's sarcastic tone suddenly felt less like coincidence and more like deliberate trolling. And the internet noticed. On several gossip pages, fans began pointing out how Nicki had a long history of responding to drama with sarcasm rather than direct confrontation. Instead of calling someone out by name, she often used coded language, jokes, or indirect comments that allowed viewers to fill in the blanks themselves. That's exactly what many people believed had just happened. In the viral clip, Nicki allegedly laughed before making another statement that quickly caught attention. Some people build an image around a relationship, but the truth always finds a way out. The room she was speaking in stayed quiet for a second, but the internet certainly didn't. Within minutes, comment sections were flooded with viewers insisting that Nicki had just taken a direct shot at Cardi B's relationship drama. Memes started appearing almost instantly. Some showed headlines from Cardi's past relationship struggles. Others compared old moments from interviews to the current rumors surrounding Stefon Diggs. The narrative online was moving fast. But while some people were laughing at the situation, others started focusing on the emotional side of the story. Because behind the internet jokes and celebrity rivalry, there was another perspective that many fans felt was being ignored. Cardi B's personal reality. For years, Cardi had lived her life in one of the most intense public spotlights in entertainment. Every relationship decision, every argument, every breakup rumor had been dissected across social media. Her marriage with Offset had already been one of the most talked about relationships in hip-hop. The headlines about cheating accusations, reconciliation attempts, and emotional public statements had followed her for years. For many fans, those experiences had already shown how difficult it can be to maintain a relationship under constant public scrutiny. And now, with the rumors surrounding Stefon Diggs, it seemed like history might be repeating itself. According to speculation circulating online, Cardi had allegedly been aware that Diggs had a reputation for complicated relationships before they became publicly linked. But like many people in love, she may have chosen to believe that things could be different. Some gossip commentators even suggested that Cardi may have defended Diggs when friends or insiders raised concerns about his alleged lifestyle. If those claims were true, it would mean that she had been standing by him despite the whispers. And that possibility made Nicki's alleged trolling feel even more brutal to some viewers. Because when personal struggles become internet entertainment, the emotional consequences can be harsh. Several fans pointed out that mocking someone's relationship struggles, especially when rumors are still circulating, can turn a difficult situation into public humiliation. Others, however, saw the moment differently. They believed Nicki wasn't mocking heartbreak. They believed she was exposing a pattern. According to that perspective, Cardi had ignored warning signs in multiple relationships, and Nicki's comments were simply highlighting a truth the public had already seen play out before. That debate quickly became one of the most heated arguments online. Supporters of Cardi insisted that relationships are complicated and that nobody outside the situation truly knows what happens behind closed doors. Nicki's supporters argued that celebrities who build public narratives around their relationships can't expect the internet to stay silent when those narratives fall apart. Meanwhile, the speculation around Young Miami's alleged involvement continued growing in the background. Fans began revisiting old social media interactions between Diggs and Miami, searching for any clue that might support the rumors. Every like, comment, or photo suddenly became evidence in the eyes of online detectives. And with every new theory, the story became more dramatic. What had started as a single gossip rumor was now turning into a massive online investigation involving 3 major celebrity names. But perhaps the most intense part of the situation wasn't the rumors themselves. It was the rivalry that had suddenly returned to the center of the conversation. Because whenever Nicki Minaj and Cardi B appear in the same headline, the internet doesn't just watch. It chooses sides. And once that happens, the drama rarely stays contained for long. As reaction videos continued piling up and millions of people debated what Nicki's comments really meant, one uncomfortable reality began to settle over the entire situation. The alleged relationship rumors were only one part of the story. The real explosion was coming from the rivalry, the humiliation, and the way the internet had turned a private situation into a global spectacle. And with tensions rising across social media, many people began wondering the same thing. If the trolling continued, would Cardi B eventually respond? By the time the story reached its third day online, the internet was no longer simply discussing rumors. It had turned into a full-blown digital battlefield. Every platform looked the same. Clips, reactions, memes, arguments. And right at the center of it all were three names that had suddenly become impossible to separate from one another: Nicki Minaj, Cardi B, and the alleged Stefon Diggs, Young Miami leak. What began as speculation had now evolved into something far more chaotic. Fans weren't just sharing opinions anymore. They were digging, investigating, and replaying every second of Nicki's viral clip, convinced that her words had been carefully chosen. Some believed the trolling was intentional. Others believed it was simply the internet exaggerating another moment. But one thing was certain: the moment had ignited a massive online meltdown. Gossip blogs started publishing breakdowns of Nicki's comments, with headlines suggesting that she had humiliated Cardi B at the exact moment rumors about Diggs' alleged private life were spreading. Reaction channels joined the frenzy, analyzing facial expressions, tone of voice, even pauses between Nicki's sentences. Viewers debated whether she had been joking, mocking, or deliberately exposing something deeper. And as the arguments grew louder, the story itself became even more controversial. Because now the focus wasn't only on the rumored relationship drama. It was on the rivalry. The rivalry that fans had been watching for years. Whenever Nicki Minaj and Cardi B appear in the same headline, it almost instantly divides the internet into two sides. Supporters rush to defend their favorite artist, critics jump in to attack the other, and within hours the conversation spirals into an all-out fan war. That's exactly what happened this time. Nicki's fans began celebrating the moment, sharing the clip with captions suggesting she had exposed the truth about Cardi's relationships. Some claimed the rapper had simply pointed out what many people had already been thinking for years. On the other side, Cardi's supporters accused Nicki of kicking someone while they were already dealing with personal rumors. They argued that turning someone's relationship struggles into entertainment crossed a line. But the internet rarely slows down once a controversy reaches this level. Instead, the situation kept escalating. New theories began appearing about the alleged connection between Stefon Diggs and Young Miami. Old photos were reposted. Past interviews were re-examined. Every detail was suddenly treated as a potential clue in a story that still had no confirmed answers. Some online detectives even began creating full timelines of events, trying to map out when rumors first appeared and how they might connect to the latest speculation. And the deeper the investigation went, the louder the debates became. Because if the rumors were false, the internet might be watching someone's private life being turned into entertainment for millions of viewers. But if the rumors were true, then the story might be far bigger than anyone initially believed. That uncertainty kept people watching, kept people commenting, kept people refreshing their feeds for updates. Meanwhile, another question started spreading across social media. Where was Cardi B? Despite the massive wave of headlines and viral clips, Cardi herself remained largely silent. No direct responses. No public statements addressing the alleged trolling. Just the internet discussing her life without knowing what was actually happening behind the scenes. For some viewers, that silence felt powerful. For others, it only increased the suspense. Because in celebrity culture, silence often creates more speculation than any response ever could. As the controversy continued growing, one thing became clear: the internet wasn't going to drop the story anytime soon. Every new meme, every reaction video, every gossip post kept the narrative alive. And with Nicki Minaj's viral clip still circulating across millions of screens, the rivalry between the two rap stars suddenly felt like it had been pulled back into the spotlight once again. But the biggest reason people kept watching wasn't the trolling. It wasn't even the rumored relationship drama. It was the possibility that something else might still surface. Another message, another leak, another statement. Because in situations like this, the internet knows one thing for sure: scandals rarely explode all at once. They unfold piece by piece. And if this story really was only at the beginning, then the meltdown everyone had just witnessed might only be the first chapter of a much bigger controversy still waiting to unfold. And just when it looked like the internet had already squeezed every drop of drama out of the story, the situation somehow became even more intense. Because scandals like this rarely end quietly. They grow, they spread, and the longer people keep talking about them, the more unpredictable the fallout becomes. Right now, millions of people online are still debating the same explosive question. Was Nicki Minaj simply making a sarcastic joke, or did she deliberately take a shot at Cardi B at the exact moment rumors about Stefon Diggs and Young Miami were already shaking the internet? The timing alone has people convinced that something bigger might be happening behind the scenes. Because when rivalries, relationship rumors, and alleged leaks all collide at the same time, the story doesn't stay small for long. It turns into a spectacle. Every reaction becomes content. Every rumor becomes another headline. And in the middle of that chaos sits Cardi B, watching the internet turn her personal life into a global debate. Meanwhile, Nicki's viral moment continues circulating across timelines, with fans and critics dissecting every word she said. Some say she was exposing uncomfortable truths. Others believe she crossed a line by mocking someone during a personal controversy. But the real reason this story refuses to disappear is much simpler. People are waiting. Waiting to see if Cardi B finally responds. Waiting to see if new information about the alleged Stefon Diggs and Young Miami situation surfaces. And most importantly, waiting to see if this viral moment sparks another chapter in one of hip-hop's most talked about rivalries. Because if someone decides to break their silence, this entire situation could explode all over again. And when that happens, the internet won't just be watching. It'll be ready for the next scandal to begin.